look at some Toronto films in a bit more detail. One of the more compelling movies shown at the festival this year was So the Winter to My Skin. It's set in South Africa during the early days of apartheid, and its focus is on a Robin Hood figure who steals from white farmers. Emma Jones reports.
He saw himself as a Samson, a rebel hero of biblical proportions who robbed white colonial farmers as apartheid was solidified into law in post-war South Africa. Nevertheless, John Kepe's name is known only locally, in the hills and caves of the Great Karoo where he lived and hid. It was a rare photo of Kepe that first sparked director JAHMIL QUBEKA's interest in him.
It was an image of him walking across the road being led by a white detective, and he was in chains. But this man had what I can only describe as Samuel L. Jackson kind of swag, you know? So for me, the question really in terms of my own quest to tell the story was like, where did you get your swag from, brother? But what I've always found interesting about him is that he's quite a divisive figure. If you speak to the descendants of the white farming population, they hold a different view on who Kepe was, you know. They'll call him, he was a skelm, which means in Afrikaans, he was a thief, you know. Yet then if you talk to the black population, they see him as a Robin Hood, which then for me became the core question I was trying to answer in the film. The film's logline is one man's bandit is another man's champion. So it's the idea of then who's right in regards to perspective.
The portrayal of this man's swagger was on the shoulders of actor Ezra Mabengeza, who felt its full weight.
You know, everything is on me. They've all entrusted me to be the man to do this. So there was a lot of pressure, and I was certainly, you know, my knees were shaking. You know, my spirit was shaking. I'm still overwhelmed by it.
This festival has been good to this director, screening an earlier film of his, A Good Report, here a few years ago. That film was originally banned in his native South Africa, and this film setting in the apartheid era means that it too might not be without political fallout.
I am really not interested in vilifying colonialism or apartheid. I think it does, both aspects do that for themselves. They don't need me to do any further of that. But what I'm interested in is the humans in those spaces, the humans in those institutions. So it's not just a black and white space of saying, oh, well, this is what it was, a rape and pillage of my people. Yes, that was what it was, but it has somehow evolved to who I am today. So how do I reconcile the two?
Given the situation in South Africa at the moment with land reclamation, how do you think that this film's going to be viewed?
But I've tried to position it in a way that it poses questions for all of us, whichever side of the argument, whether you're an indigenous black person who's saying, I want my land back, or you are a post-colonialist person saying, hey, this is what I was left, I don't have anything else. I don't know what you want me to do. You want me to give you all that I have? So the argument and the push-pull for me is, as long as we're conscious of it, as long as we're conscious of where these things come from, then I'm okay with however people receive my film.
Like another Samson, Kepe ran the risk of being shorn of his power and led away to die. Yet perhaps the outlaw thought it was worth the risk.
I believe we've got an innate desire not to be forgotten. We want to be entrenched in the fabric of time. Nobody wants to really just fade away, hence the title of the film. Even if the experiences can be the worst kind of experiences, the fact that it's an experience and a life lived is something I think our subconscious really resonates with.